Genesis chapter 4, or 7 and verse 4. I want to bring you right up to just before the flood. Genesis chapter 7 and verse 4. For yet 7 days, 7 days, he said, I will cause it to rain upon the earth 40 days and 40 nights, and every living substance that I have made will I destroy from off the face of the earth. Let's move ahead from the beginning of the ark all the way up. And Noah's been working on this, and Noah's been preaching, and Noah's been talking to all of these people. He's been telling his family God is going to do this. He's put everything together. He's set everything up. And then God comes down one day and he says, Noah, 7 days. 1 week. 7 days. I want you to get inside of Noah's heart. And I want you to get inside of Noah's thinking. 7 days. He probably first of all got excited. Boy, 7 days and this thing's going to come over and it's going to be done. We like to sing about Zion. We like to sing about going over to the other side. One of my favorite songs is When the Ring Goes Golden Bells. And I don't know if they got bells. But I'm just talking about this. We like to think about heaven. And we think about it, though, many times like, well, I'm probably going to have to die. God's not going to, blow that trumpet in my lifetime. It's not going to happen. I mean, we all think about death, life insurance, death insurance, whatever you want to call it. And by the way, I tell people in the funeral business, since I'm in that business, we don't like to see anybody die. But if you do, call me. but we don't like to think about that. We stand in the pulpit as preachers and we say, we pray that God would come back in my time. We're not looking for the undertaker, we're looking for the undertaker. We use all those phrases and all of those things. But in the back of our mind, we think we're probably going to die. But Noah was told 7 days. 7 days. He probably got a little excited. Oh, 7 days. But now I want you to see something. When he walked out of his house that morning, wow, God said 7 days. He stepped out of his house through the curtain or the threshold, whatever it is that he had. He started to pick up his tools like he did on the days before. The ark is pretty well done, but he's got just a little bit of molding to put on in one place. And as he steps outside, the crowd says, there he is, been a long time. There he goes again. And all of a sudden in the heart of Noah, it hits him. 7 days. And he says, Jeb, I know you don't believe any of this. And you make fun of me every morning when I come out. But I want you to understand something. God told me it's only 7 days now. Jeb says, yeah, you've been saying that for 120 years. No, I mean it, 7 days. And as Noah was grasping the importance of the shortness of time, I'm sure his heart was heavy as he walked each step to that ark. Excitement on one side that it was about to be done, but only 7 days, and some of his distant family. Only 7 days, and his friends that he drank coffee with in the morning. Only 7 days, and those people are going to be destroyed. And he went about his work on the ark, and I can almost picture it as his hammer was just not quite as lively. I'm sure that as he swept the remaining sawdust, and as he saw his sons working beside him, he was rejoicing in his heart that they understood, but a burden. And as he went home that night on the seventh day, he was probably very heavy. As he entered into his house, laid his head down, he got up and he said, tomorrow it'll be 6. Step ahead a few days and you see Noah as every day comes out of that ark. It's almost done now. Look at them animals. They all lined up. I don't think he went out and lassoed them. God didn't need Noah to go get us.
Right.
He made the fish swim into the net. He made the fish swallow the tax money. He didn't need all that stuff.
That's right.
He made that fish swallow that sorry preacher in Jonah. But think about it. Let's step forward to 2 days before. Can't you picture Noah as he come out of his house that morning? As he picked up the broom, maybe just picked up the paint. He's almost done. He don't need all that heavy stuff anymore. He tells his boys, we got to make final inspection. You know, them animals are going to come in. We need to make sure everything is just right. Remember, he had a plan that he had to go by. He had a, you know, the blueprint that God had laid out. We need to make sure it's all right. Still don't understand why one window and one door. Ain't no handle on the door either. Don't understand that either. But we got to make it right. Noah walks out. There's some people again. Boy, they say, you know what? This must be getting to him. Look at old Noah's, his shoulders are stooped down this morning. Look at him as he walks through that ark. He keeps looking at us and he keeps looking at the ground. He keeps looking at us and he keeps looking at the ground. He must be getting tired of that old ark. I wonder if Noah's doubting. He's got tears in his eyes. I wonder if he's just giving up. I wonder if he realized what a fool he's made and he don't know how to get out of it. I wonder if he thinks he's made a big mistake and he's wasted his kids' lives. Look at it. He looks downtrodden this morning. But Noah worked all day on the ark again. And when he came home that night, as he's going to the house, they said, boy, look at him now. He's not going to make it much longer. It looks like he's carrying an awful weight. And he looks at us and cries, and he went in his house. He comes out of his house on the day before. I want you to see something. Picture yourself. God wakes you up in the morning and says, you know what? This is the last day. This is it. Can't you picture Noah as he walks out of his house that morning? Wow. I don't have to work on this ark much more. This is it. I wonder how God's going to do all of that. I wonder how God is going to accomplish all of that. I can see all the animals out there. But look at all of those people. And I'm sure the weight of what was about to take place must have been very heavy on his back. I mean, there's just the 3 sons and their wives and his wife. I'm sure there was cousins and all of those people out there. Think about it now. He had family. It wasn't just the neighbors, and it wasn't just the mean drunk down the street and that old codger that just seems to cuss everybody, and everybody was so evil. There was family out there. Family. You see, Methuselah had just in that same year passed away. Study your history. Methuselah, man that lived the longest on earth, had died in the same year that the ark floated. You study your genealogy. It takes some time, but it's there. So there was a lot of family out there. I can almost picture Noah looking at the people. God, you sure this is how it has to be? I mean, look at them. They don't believe it. I mean, I can't even get them to understand. And I can almost picture God as he reaches down and he sort of pats Noah on the back and he says, Noah, I know it's very difficult, but I did give him 7 days of grace. Matter of fact, I've given him 120 years. But I said, in this 7 days, Noah, look at it. I want you to look at it from 2 perspectives as we get just about to the closing of the door. I wonder if there's days when Noah came out, walked to the ark and worked on it all day and went back home and just ignored everybody and didn't tell anybody about Christ. Didn't stop and say, you know, I'm doing this for God. Didn't stop and say, this is the salvation that God's provided. He didn't explain to him. He just got so tired of it that after 120 years, he said, I'm just not going to do it. And all those people that watched him every day, I wonder how many times people just said, well, there he goes, and they just ignored it. But I want you to be there on the morning that Noah wakes up. This is it. 120 years are over. The 7 days are over. Noah wakes up and he steps outside with anticipation. I'm going to see what God is going to do with this big old boat that I've been building. I'm going to see what God is going to do with them animals that He's got gathered around. I'm sure he told his family, made every preparation. As they sat over breakfast that morning, he was saying, this is the day. God said He's going to do it today. I'm going to make it rain. I'm going to fulfill what I've already told you that I'm going to do. And I'm sure Noah, as he got up, he's got anticipation. He's probably got his tourist or luggage all packed. I mean, he's got everything there. They said, take what you need, and we're going to enter the ark. God has said, this is what it is. And he steps outside, and he sees all the animals lining up, and they're walking up into the ark, and the goosebumps come up on his arm like they are on mine right now. And he's seeing all the excitement of God, but then he sees jail. He sees all the neighbors down the street. He sees his cousins, maybe his uncles, maybe his wife's family. And the weight must have come on his shoulders. I can see him as he's standing at the ramp or whatever it was that they loaded them, got them animals into the ark. I can see him in a desperation with tears in his eyes. He's saying, people, people, don't you see? Even the animals understand that God says this is the day. I don't have all of this power. It's not me that's doing this. Look at the animals going into the ark. Can't you see the signs? I built this ark because God said build it. Don't you see those animals going in? I'm not doing that. You need to get in the ark. You need to follow what God has said. I've been doing this for all these years because God said this is our salvation. Can't you see him as he looks to his boys and he said, you need to go ahead and get in. Go ahead in the ark. I need just a little bit more time. Go ahead in and make ready. Go ahead in and get everything and make sure all the stalls maybe where they're supposed to be and all of those things. Just give me some more time. And he stands on the ramp going up and he begs the people, we're all in. Can't you see the animals are in? We're all in. Can't you see my family is in? We're all in. Can't you understand? As he cries, and the crowd looks at him and says, there's that crazy man. We don't know how he got all the animals in that ark. We don't know what he did to cause all of that. But all these years, everything's going on the same as it has been. And now he's really flipped. He's moving out of his house. Well, maybe he just decided that he built that big old thing, so he better live in it.